Hello, hello. Looks like we are live. What's up, everybody? Brendon Isaiah Bengtson here, bringing you the smooth sounds of ZBrush. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Me, I'm good. We're holding fast, holding steady, continuing to do the arts and have the funs and all sorts of other greatness. Today, from Brazil. What's up, man? Hello from California. All right. Let's do that guy. Today, Argentina. Man, we got people all over the world today. But don't cry for me. I'm sure you never get tired of hearing that joke, right? All right. So today, let's get into it. Just going to do a fun little speed sculpt of Krampus. We're going to do in case you guys don't know, somebody doesn't know what Krampus is. He is the demon of Christmas, the Christmas demon that comes and snatches up your children. If your children aren't good. North Dakota. Hey, dude, I was born in North Dakota. I was actually born in Bottineau. Hey, Bottineau, North Dakota. I actually lived in a small town called Souris up there. Yeah, near the Canadian border. Yeah, I was born in Bottineau. Crazy. I always say that, people are like, oh, North Dakota. What's North Dakota like? And I'm like, all right, look, this is what North Dakota is like. North Dakota is so flat that if you go and walk out into your field and you find just a boulder, just a little boulder, you jump up on that boulder and you look off into the distance and you look really, really hard. Look at the horizon and see like this little speck on the horizon, and it's the back of your own head. That's how flat North Dakota is. All right, today we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do a quick little speed sculpty thingamajigger, and we're just going to. We're going to start from demo head, lol. Yeah, I've been around for a little while. Yes, I have been. It's fun sculpting. It's nice. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to, let's see, what kind of subtool? I haven't used this subtool in forever. We just got eyes and teeth. I think that's fine. We're just going to get rid of the eyes and teeth because I'm just going to use this for delete. You guys can't hear me, right? Just making sure everything is good. Yeah, my mic is working. Okay, cool. All right. So let's say maybe that's okay. We'll delete lower, delete higher. Portland. Oh yeah. We're just gonna get into this. All right, what do you think? I think we should just leave it there. Meh meh. Oh, Jeebus. How's everybody doing? How's everybody ready for Christmas? Anybody else ready for Christmas? I'm ready for Christmas. I don't know about you guys. Yes, we are doing Krampus today. There's a Krampus among us. And then I like, because I don't like being influenced by anything here. I usually just will. I'm just gonna fill all this in. Really, I'm just looking for overall head shape, a random place of the ears, and a jawline. That's really kind of the only big thing that I'm looking for. So let's do Dynamesh, and let's just kill all that. I don't really want to be influenced by what was there. Just looking for the base shape. Krampus among us. Just get rid of all that. Cool. Get rid of all that. Cool. Cool. And now I have just a really quick base to kind of work from. So we're going to, what kind of jaw do I want this dude to have? I want him to think about the profile here for a second. Maybe not big forehead, dude. So we'll just kind of work on, which table do I use? You mean which tablet? Yacon? I've actually made my entire career on the Intuos 5 tablet. Medium. Yeah, she's a hoot, if I may. Okay, so this, we're going to kind of bring all this stuff back. Cool. I'm going to dig out some eyes here. I'm just going to kind of first set up the way I like to do eyes. And that's just, I usually just append a sphere in. Let's grab a, whoa! I'm going to make this dude bigger. Let's say maybe about there. Okay. Let's make this dude smaller. Okay, and then this will usually get me the right size eyeballs, and then I like to... Yeah, it still works fantastic. I've been working on this tablet since 2013. So 7 years on this tablet. Made my entire career on this tablet. It's pretty crazy. My work from home, I have a large Intuos Pro. So it's a little jarring kind of going from the large to the medium, but it's not that big of a deal. Whatever. So let's mirror and weld. Cool, we got some eyes. And then what I like doing is I like just sculpting the eyelashes, not the eyelashes, the eyelids above this. We are in, officially, the Valley of the Suck right now, so it's one of the things that I always hate is the very beginning stages where everything looks like doo-doo, you know? Like super doo-doo. Okay, we're going to give him some downward sloping eyes. And then now you can kind of start getting the feel of like how big are these eyes in the like Count Dooku. Oh no, sorry, that's Count Dooku. I was way off. I like in my little demon dudes. Typically, I like my eyes a little bit smaller than larger because they tend to look a little bit more creature-esque the smaller they are. So this is where I kind of get the overall feeling of the depth of the eyes. Alright, we're going to kind of push this back just a touch. I want him to have a super small nose. We're going to have like the orc style nose. Maybe orc slash bat, I think. Might be kind of cool. So like the nostril kind of comes back like this. He looks like very concerned, Krampus. He's like, I really feel bad for you that I'm going to scare the crap out of you. Urgh. One of these days, I really want to do a Warhammer 40,000 Nurgle Space Marine sculpt. Been listening to a lot of Horus Heresy books over the last certain number of years. Okay, so the other thing I really want to do is I want to make sure I decide early on is the mouth going to be open or closed. And typically I want the mouth open. Man, he's like super brainchild guy. Let's do this. Okay, that's starting to look proportion-wise just a little less Mega Mind super brain guy. So I'm going to do mouth open on this guy. So we're just going to kind of decide what his upper maxilla area is going to look like. And then what I'll do is I'll usually just, oops, let me grab. Something like that. Yeah, it's been 7 years, man. Yeah, the medium's definitely more portable for sure. Well, that and it was at the beginning, it was such a big price difference between um, the medium and the large that I couldn't really afford the large anyways. So I was kind of forced into it. Uh, okay, so what does the opening of his mouth look like? I like having like this little like hitches in the openings of the mouth. They're fun to have. So then I'm just going to throw all this in. I don't care what it's like. Free Dynamesh. Gotta love Dynamesh. Okay. Now let's work on. For me, it's a little bit more creepy when the head and the neck is longer and not like super. Like if the neck is just a touch long, it gives us this really awesome creepiness to it because it's a little out of normal, you know? Yeah, Ice Walker too. Yeah. Yeah, still want to make sure that I keep maintain just a relative shape of the sternocleidomastoid, just for the giggles. Who knows what this guy's anatomy actually looks like? Yeah. Yeah, the wireless prices goes high. Yeah, exactly. I knew I wasn't really going to. I was going to do most of my work from my workstation at home, so I wasn't too worried about not having wireless capabilities there. Okay, I'm just going to wrangle in the head shape just a little bit. I don't want it to be so like top heavy, like how it feels now. And want these nice flows too. Like I don't like this whole like super straight lines. They don't really feel very organic. Um, you can get away with straight lines and shapes in organic, but it's always better to add just a little bit of curvature. Even if it's like mostly straight, having even just a small amount really helps kind of the natural feel. Okay, so the jaw definitely needs some work. Chin heavy usually is kind of like dumpy looking, so I want him to be like kind of definitely more aggressive. So I'm going to try to get some thinner shapes. And I kind of go back and forth between different brushes and stuff really quickly um, on my keyboard. So if you're ever wondering what I'm using, you can always just check up here. Okay, this overall shape is a little gross and funky. Okay, that's a good place to start. He's kind of nondescript at the moment, which is okay. Art's hard. I think hard is so very easy, but when I start to learning, really it's not easy. I think the biggest thing for art in the beginning of your career is just learning patience. Patience to um, not always have to feel pressured to make really good-looking things off the bat. Um, I've been doing this for a really long time, and even my stuff looks like doo doo like off the bat. So it's really, you see like a lot of these art pieces that people have spent quite a lot of time refining and making the mistakes be kind of behind the presentation, and we're used to seeing sick art and not all of the things that go into making that sick art. So that was one of the things that I had to learn early on, was just how to be patient. Learn the things that you need to learn and discover the things that you need to learn. It's really tough when you're trying to like learn all the things, and you don't quite know all of the things that you need to learn. So just having patience um, in that regard is super important. Okay, so we need to start making him a little bit more aggressive. So aggressive is frowny face. So anything that has like this like perma frown in it, all right, this whole patience is everything. If you look at all of the successful entities in this world, a lot of times you just see successes and not all of the failures. For every success, there's literally countless failures before that. And if you get massive success without the failures, then more often than not, it's just a fluke and an accident. Being in the right place at the right time with the right idea, how that kind of goes. But okay, so now let's start just. So primary shapes are kind of starting to kick in. Let's start working on very broad secondary shapes. Okay, he's fairly nondescript at the moment. I think maybe what we'll do, maybe we can actually get more of like a snout on this guy. That'd be kind of cool. Just to kind of push him out of the. Oh, I'm just a. Why am I not using 21.5? It's a good question. And the valid answer is I just haven't had time to update yet. Haven't had the time. I barely had time to prep for this stream, as you can tell. Yeah, maybe it's actually, maybe he's got like this type of... Am I? The Pixar guys set up the titles. Oh yeah, I will upgrade. I just haven't had time to do it yet. You like the thicker bridge of the nose? It's really interesting playing with shapes and stuff and like shape language at this point. That's one of the kind of my more favorite things is like, what does this guy say? What does he do? Shape-wise, what does the language of his shapes say? Maybe that's better. What's up, Alex? How you doing? I highly encourage everybody to support Pixo as much as possible. Those guys are they're so awesome. Okay, so maybe that's kind of cool. Let's try to develop his forehead a little bit here, and then we also got to do teeth, and we got to do. Maybe we should bring this down a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. That feels a little better. Everything was so high. And I think he almost looks like Joe Biden right there, huh? Like in the eyes right here. I don't know why. That's so weird. All right. So let's get in some horns on this guy. So for horns, typically we'll just append another sphere. Let's just get some geo up here. Yeah, sure. Sounds good. And we'll do mirror and weld. Hey, it's Mickey Mouse. And then we'll just do snake hook. I do want to play with the new snake hook stuff. That looked pretty cool. Okay, let's make sure that we have symmetry on. There we go. Hey, snake hook, what are you doing? Oh, we're gonna do sculptress. That's what I want to do. Oh, why are you stopping? Why are you doing that? Okay. Let's just play with some horn shapes here. See if it feels good. I like the whole like the super twisty, almost flat kind. So let's say it comes like this, comes back. Let's just work on Dynamish here. So it comes like this, and then it comes back and twists like that. Right, and then this comes out like that, and then we can flatten this stuff out. Okay, and then maybe we've got another ridge that comes like this. That one goes in. That kind of crunkled Krampus look. Maybe we can get a little concavity stuff going here. Then we can start playing with like the rotation. Maybe it's actually something more like that, or this part's fun. It's more side of the head, like that. And then what we can do is we can dupe this guy. Make these guys a little bit smaller. Kind of thinking of those like the four horned goats. You seen those? Those are pretty cool. Something like that. That's kind of cool. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now we're cooking with fire. All right, let's try to get maybe a little bit more aggressiveness here. Maybe we'll pull this in a little. Maybe a little bit more skeletal feel. Pronounce those zygomas a little more. Maybe they actually protrude off of them too. That'd be kind of cool. It's got that like hook zygoma. All that kind of goes in there. It's kind of cool. All right. Oh yeah, we're gonna kind of give this guy's mouth opening just a little more oomph. And maybe we can vary up the chin there. Gotta have a little bit of lip, right? Okay, let's work on some teeth. All right. Okay, 30 minutes in. This shape's got to go this way. This shape's got to go kind of something like that. Okay, let's get in some teeth. Start playing with some teeth. Some teeth, men. Again, so with teeth, I usually will just start with in appended spheres as well, just like the horns. Let's do it the other way. Actually, let's do it the other way. So let's delete this guy, and we'll just use insert brush. So B I NGO B. My kids have been listening to a lot of kid music lately. Okay, I'm on this guy, and we'll just get a sphere here. The nice thing is that it automatically isolates it with a mask, which is nice. Got caterpillars at the moment, huh? You can always just smooth them out and kind of thin them down a little. Okay, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll point them in a little bit more. What's up, tall? Okay, point that, and then we'll just kind of point these guys. Start sharpening them up a bit. I like having subtle kind of variations in the silhouette for the teeth. See how we just, it's not completely cylindrical. On this side you've got a little bit more of a different type of curvature than you do on the front. It just kind of gives a little bit more interesting shapes to the teeth. Maybe they actually flare forward. It's always a little bit more creepy when the teeth kind of protrude forward. Okay, sure. Yes, we are making Krampus. We are making the Krumpai. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do split unmasked points. That is... Split unmasked points is... Come on. My tooltip's not coming up. There we go. Tool, subtool, split unmasked points. So it's in subtool, split unmasked points. There we go. Basically, it's going to split everything that's not masked into its own new subtool. Yay! So then what I can do is, let's take a look at the wireframe. Okay, cool. And then I'm just going to use Control Alt and drag to make new ones. And that again is going to mask everything else, which is nice. And then let's thin those guys out quite a bit. That's not creepy at all, is it? Yay for creepy. Alright, and then I'm going to use Control Alt, click and drag again to make some new ones there. Now, maybe these ones go in. And then we're going to make those a little bit smaller and then longer. There we go. How's that looking? You know what I always do? I always tend to put my teeth way too far out. So I'm going to make sure that these guys are actually sitting in here. So he's got enough out here for an actual lip. Right, and this is on the inside here. So what I want to do is I want to create some gums for this dude. There's a couple ways I can do it. I can just append in a new thing and just kind of sculpt it into that. Or what I can do is I can just take this one, which I think I'm going to do. Let's duplicate this guy. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. And then I'm just going to grab that. Let's group masked. Hide everything else. Hide that. Delete. Hidden. Okay, cool. That looks good. That's good. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I want to actually grab all of that back there. All that. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of that. Don't need that. Okay, cool. Group masked. Cool. Delete hidden. Polish by groups. Polish by groups is in deformation. Polish by groups. Okay, so now the reason why I do that is because now it's in that same area with that same basic shape, which is basically what I want. And then to give it some extra, I can either use QMesh in the ZBrush, or I can just go into. I can also do Dynamesh. Let's see what Dynamesh actually does. Yeah, let's do panel loops instead. So panel loops I want negative because I want it to go in, and then let's just see what that gives me. It's okay, maybe a little bit more thickness. I'm just looking for some geo on the inside. That's fine. And then Dynamesh that, and then we have something a little bit better here. Just smooth all this stuff out in here. Get rid of some of that weirdness. There we go. Cool. Now I got some gums. Got some gums. Got some gums. I'm going to turn on backface mask of my clay buildup so that I don't do this, and I'm just going to fill in some of this in here. Just so that when I sculpt on the other side, it doesn't give me the grossness. Oops. Oh, come on. There you go. Come on. Everybody still with me? Okay, so now what I can do is let's just push that in, and then we're going to pull this down. And there's my gums. Like that. And then I can use this stuff up here for the flesh. The skin. The skin man. Then maybe what I'll do is kind of want all this to go down just a little bit more. I don't want to see all that. I want this to kind of be. I want to see those gums, man. I want to see those gums. Not too much. Don't do too much gums. Or no, maybe all the gums. Maybe all the gums. Looks like he's got an orange in his mouth. Alright, I'll just sculpt these guys up just a little bit real quick, just so it doesn't look so dorky looking. Flatten all that out. Okay, that's where those teeth are. That's where that tooth is. Alright, upper lip looks a little funky monkey. What would I use to retopo? I think retopo really depends on what your output's gonna be. Um, for me, if I was gonna make this into an actual, like if this was for an actual video game company and I was gonna make this, then I'd probably do like Maya or Modo to get like a proper retopology. But usually for my own stuff, I don't care too much about the topology. So I probably will just end up making something here in ZBrush. If it's my personal stuff, I'll usually do that. You get some subtle kind of shape changes coming through here. Okay, that's starting to look okay. So I'm just working on, secondary shape language and overall feel. Okay, he definitely needs more teeth. So let's do more teeth. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a look at that. Okay, that's cool. Let's do auto groups and then mirror and weld, and that will give me the same groups on both sides. So what I'm going to do is use my move tool, and we'll do um, control click, and that's going to auto mask just that polygroup. And then now I can use control alt and just pull those. Super helpful. Sometimes we can be kind of interesting to kind of overlap some stuff like that. Oh, that's kind of cool. Kind of like that. Cool. Let's pull this guy back, and we'll start making them a little smaller. Now I don't want all of the teeth to be the same shape. Right now they're all the same shape, basically. So instead of pulling another one off here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a new mesh and build a new tooth. Because if I force myself to build a new tooth, then the shape will be different, which is what I want. I don't want that to be so out there. Okay. Hey, hey, there you go. Okay. It will pull this back. So I don't really want it. I want it kind of coming out this way and not necessarily down. So I'm going to pull kind of the mass of this back this way a little bit. and then I can pull this out just a touch more. What's up, Animation? How you doing, man? How's everybody doing? Let's push that back in. I want a little bit more curvature, so I'm going to pull that out a little bit. These guys, let's control click. I'm going to bring these guys out just a touch. Okay. So let's get in. Things are good. Things are good. Nice. Suddenly feel like his jaw is too long. So I want to try to get that right before. That's a little better. His jaw, like the corner of his jaw felt a little too low. Okay. All right, let's get some more teeth in there. Is what we really need. That's the thing that's missing more. All right, so okay, I'm on the gums. So I'm just gonna do B I for brush insert. Go back to my regular insert brush. I'm on sphere, and now I can just let's grab some more. I'll just start getting just different shapes in here. I'm thinking more like kind of like canine back teeth. That's kind of cool. I like how they're all kind of pointing forward. That feels cool. And I'm just gonna force myself to make new ones. That way, it gives it like this kind of nice organic difference, which is nice. Okay, so then let's go B I back to my brush, insert, and then we'll get another one back here. Cool. Oops. Back to my move brush. Maybe this one I'll have actually 2 points on it. So maybe what we can do is let's Dynamesh. No, I don't want Dynamesh yet. When did I feel ready professionally? When you came out of university? Oh God, no. Honestly, I still don't feel like I'm ready for what I'm actually doing. Yeah, that's the whole like imposter syndrome feeling, that whole thing. Like it's actually let me take that back. I felt most ready when I was comfortable in my problem solving skills. Um, because all of the work that you do, you're never going to be, you're never having done before. So, like, everything that I worked on for, Captain America or Kate Bishop or, any of the enemy robots that we have, like all that stuff, I've never done that stuff before. But what I needed to do was be comfortable in how to solve problems. And I think that's the thing that gets overlooked quite a bit. Um, is just problem solving. That's all like this industry is. I mean, really almost any industry is, how comfortable are you with coming up with creative solutions for problems? I think that's the thing that's going to help catapult you through um, your professional career. And logic. Logic's another big one. You kind of look at all these different companies and all these different specialists, and the if you break down the problem, it's really, do you have enough knowledge to make the correct logical decision moving forward to the solution that you want to get to? Whether it's creating a vaccine or creating a economical plan for food stamps, or creating blend shapes across multiple head geometries with different UVs. like, it's really just about creative problem solving and using logic. That's kind of deep. Sorry, I got real deep on you guys there for a second. I did. I kind of did. So let's isolate these teeth. So we're going to look at polygroups. Those are all other polygroups, which is fine. And then I just want to split hidden. And then let's combine those with the other teeth. So this one here down to this one's we'll just do merge down, which is fine. Cool. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I kind of like this feeling, right? Like you've got this vector, this one, and then the vector of these teeth kind of continue this, right? So like it's very like outward going. Really don't like that lip though. Jeez. That's a little better. Yeah, I mean like, there's so many things that you have to learn how to do, but when it comes down to, character art, why am I doing that? This should go up this way. These in between should be down. I always get that mixed up. Eh. So this goes up, this goes down, this goes up, this goes down, this goes up, this goes down. But this goes out, this goes in, this goes out, this goes in. There we go. So up here, out here, in, down. There we go. Now it's starting to look like. Right? Teeth! Ah, the teeth! It just looks a little big. Huh. It looks a little big. His, like, maxilla is gigantic. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to make it smaller. Right? I want to make all of the teeth and the gums smaller. So how do I do that? There's a couple of different ways. You can combine the gums with the uh, teeth. Or what you can do is, I haven't shown this in a while, you can use the move tool and use this little doobopper, transpose all selected subtools. Right? So if you hit that guy, it gives you the, oh, I'm going to do all of them, which is pretty cool because then you can just move everything. But if you want to just move some things, you can use your select lasso and you say, I don't want to move those guys. Right? And that gives you that whole like weird, like, oh my god, what did I do? I broke it. Look. Now deselect those guys. So I'm only selected those things that I want to move. And then I can move those just however I want to. And they're kept like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off symmetry. I'm going to go to unmask center and reset. Okay, so then I'm going to just pull this in just a touch. Of course, you can only use that with the move, right? Like you can't like use brushes on multiple subtools. So if you want to use like the move brush, then you would need to put those together. So I'm probably going to just end up doing that. So let's turn that off because the thing can get a little bit weird. And I want to keep the size of the teeth a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge down. I just want to make sure that my groups are good. Those groups are good. Oh, I don't want to Dynamesh that. Thank you. Let's turn Dynamesh off for that guy. There we go. Okay, so cool. Let's go to this one. We're just going to merge down. And I can separate those out because they are in different polygroups. So now what I can do is I can use a couple of different move tools. Typically I use this move topological, which is nice because it's basically whatever you click on, that's the mesh part that moves. But if you use the regular move, it moves everything in the subtool. So I tend to kind of go back and forth a little bit between the two. So I have them on hotkeys. So S is move topological, Shift S is move. It's supposed to be move. All right, let's set it real quick. If you guys don't, uh-oh. Have you guys run into this? Anybody ever run into that? Oh my god, what do I do? This used to freak me out so bad when I first started learning ZBrush. You're like, oh, God, I don't know what I did. I don't want to lose everything. I haven't saved it. The nice thing is that all of the work that you're doing on this model is based on the tool. And in your tool, you have subtools. And each one of these subtools has its own history. So what you're doing is you're taking all of the information in that tool, and then you're just placing it onto a canvas. So basically what happened was I dropped that first head, the big one right there, and then picked up a new version of the head. So that's kind of what's happening. But all of the information is not built into the document that I'm working on. This whole document is based on the tool. So all I have to do is just go document, new document. And then I can just drop my tool back in like that, hit edit, and then we're right back where we started. I have all of my history because all of it lives inside the tool with the subtools in the tool. Anywho, so looks like my shortcut is no longer working, so I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So Control Alt and click on the thing that you want to assign a shortcut. Cool. And then up there in the very top left it says press any key combination, and then I'm going to do Shift S. Yep, that's fine. So Shift S should get me to regular move, and S should get me to move topology. All right. So I'm going to just move this dude in a little bit, and then I'm going to move all these guys in. So I use that quite a bit where I'll move in between regular move and move topological. And then what you could do is, let's say if I'm trying to grab these teeth here, and I keep on grabbing this guy, what you could do is use the move tool, do control click and auto mask, invert the mask, and then now everything else is masked. So then now no matter what, I don't grab the gums. Kind of cool, huh? And this is also another way I like doing edits after the fact. You know, you can come in and just do quick. All right, maybe I want to do all of them, so I'm going to switch to regular move, and maybe I can just get like this kind of protruding out a little bit more. Okay, clear the mask, and then I want to move all of it out just a little bit more. There we go. So between, quick masking, move topology, and move regular, you can really get some quick work done, which is nice. Yay, quick work. All right, we just do this again. So I'm just gonna auto hide that, or sorry, auto mask it. There we go. The only thing is if I'm trying to grab this up here, like the root of this tooth, I'm not able to grab it because it's trying to grab the gums. So you kind of have to work around that just a little bit, but it's usually not too big a deal. Okay, let's move on. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom lip real quick. I think what we're going to do is let's open up his mouth a little bit more. We need some more room. In this case, I'm going to turn off perspective. Turn off perspective, thank you. I'm going to grab that. Something like that. Cool. And then let's redynamesh real quick. Smooth that out. Maybe he's got this like gigantic gullet. Okay, lots of work still to do. We got an hour left. All right, let's just really quickly mash in some integration here. Question is, where do his ears go? I think maybe what we'll do is we'll push these guys back like this. That'll give room for his ears up front. This is a really good time to use any kind of pre-existing like monster pieces. Typically, what I like to do is I keep like extra creature parts around. I grabbed this brush from Bad King about 1,000,000 years ago, and I use it quite a bit. It's the creature pack that they have. I also think that Pablo has one too. You could take a gander at. So let's look at so let's go brush. No, it's in here. So let's go to brush. Let's see if I have them loaded up or not. I don't think I do. I don't. That's okay. We'll just make our own. We will make our own. So here we're gonna do. Make our own ears. Ready? Append a sphere. Let's just make that thinner right off the bat. Whoop. Okay. His ears are going to go out like that. Cool. So we're going to mirror and weld real quick so we have them both on both sides. Turn on symmetry, and then we're just going to start shaping some ears quick. Super quick. Come on, give me the thing. Ears are always so hard to do for me. Hate doing ears. Okay, let's do backface mask. Oh, it's on backface mask. I'm going to get a little bit more geo over here so I can sculpt into this thing without it kind of poking through on that side. So backface mask is on, which is helpful. Backface mask, if you want it, is in brush, auto masking, backface mask. That's it. It is brush specific, so you have to turn it on and or off per brush. Okay, so we've got the in a regular ear, you got the conical. I don't even know what these. I don't remember what the names of the pieces are, so I'm not even gonna try. So this is gonna go in. We've got like a little hole, ear hole protector thingamajig there. We've got the lobe that goes down there. Got the shape that goes in like that. We've got this shape that kind of comes out, and then in. Sure. Not worried about the ears at the moment. Just want to get at least their placement in. Because it definitely affects the silhouette. So I want to make sure that at least we have a representation of where those are in the silhouette and how these guys are placed around them. Like I like this like cylindrical shape happening. You got kind of thing, just like that. It's cool. I like that. So much sculpting time and so little real world time. Okay, so that's moving in the right decision. The right direction is where it's moving. Okay, maybe a little less forehead there. Okay, we definitely want him a little bit more angry looking, so I want to make sure that he's kind of got this grrr look to him as a resting RBF, is that what they call it? A resting bitch face. Alright, so give him some of that. I give him some of this. I'll give him a little. Okay, let's get him. Let's see. He's like, "Ugh." We got to give him some a tongue, and we got to give him some bottom teeth. So here's what I'm gonna do. Rodeska, what's up, buddy? How you been, man? How you been? Hope you are well. No, I'm doing good, man. I'm hanging in there. You know, trying to stay positive, trying to spread the knowledge, the knowledges. Oh, nice job, dude. Congrats. Okay, he's moving in the right direction. So let's. I kind of want to use the same teeth, but I kind of don't. So what I'm going to do is, for the sake of time, I'm just going to take this piece and we're going to dupe it, and we're going to mirror it in the Y. I don't know. He's on third, and I don't give a darn. Cool. Mirrored in the Y. demon of my dental dreams. Exactly. He's he's not so nice. He also can't close his mouth, which is fine. I don't care. He kind of looks a little dumpy from the side here that I need to try to fix. Hey Ethan, this is ZBrush 2021. Only the best software for sculpting out there. Okay. What is the most annoying thing for you in whole character development process? UVs. Retopo and UVs for me. Let's see if we can get. He looks a little like the shapes make him feel a little kind of dorky from the profile. This starts to feel okay and a little bit more aggressive in the way that I want to go, but here it's just, you know. So we're going to work on more aggressive shapes in the whole shape language thing. Right now he's kind of got this curve and like this kind of gentle curve and this curve and this curve. So the more aggressive things you want to have a little bit more kind of angular and less kind of bubbly. Even already he looks better because we have a little bit more of an angle. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on that already feels a little better. Yeah, that feels way better. One of the things that I've learned is go with your gut. Uh, if your gut is trying to say, something's a little bit off, not quite there, it's a good chance that somebody else will feel the same way, and you should fix it. You should fix it. All right, let's give him a little bit more jaw back here. Okay. The zygoma is going to go back this way. Let's give him a little bit more ridge, a little more temple. Using Adobe Illustrator. Yeah, man. Everybody has their poison, if I may. You know. For me, I didn't. I work a little bit more kind of messy. I'm more of like a messy artist. So um, when I was doing design stuff, like it's good. It's definitely good to have um, something you could be super clean in, but that wasn't really my cup. That's not my cup of tea, baby. Thinking maybe we needs to be a little bit more shallow. The eye depth from the ridge of the nose to here needs to be more, but this needs to open up back here more. That's what I'm feeling. There we go. That's starting to kind of open up his eye socket a little bit more. What's up, evening? How you doing? Let's see. Marmoset or Keyshot? Trying to decide between the two. Um, BMag. If are you doing video game art or are you doing more art for illustration concept stuff? If you're doing concept, then you're probably Keyshot is better because you're not worried about like actual like engine rendering, and you're not going to be making a bunch of UVs and applying materials and stuff specific to your UVs. You're just trying to like get some sculpts. You're trying to get some images and then just render them out quick. I would highly suggest Keyshot for that. Then you skip the whole like retopo, UV work, all of that stuff you skip. if you do video game art, I would highly suggest Marmoset. Okay, so that's starting to feel better. I'm going to give his neck just a little bit more thickness here. Starting to feel a little too. See, I always my problem is for my art, I tend to like try to get out of my comfort zone. So like a lot of times because I've been so anatomy based for so long, I've done muscular dudes for forever. So whenever I try to kind of get out of that, I always end up slipping back into it. So sometimes I really gotta try to force myself to think skinny. There we go. All right, so that's starting to feel a little better. This still needs work. Okay, most of my pieces are in. Maybe give him just a little bit more of a bottom lip down here. Thanks, Ducky. Oh, we got to give him a tongue. That's what we got to do. I think we're going to go super, super creepy with this guy in the tongue. Right? You're like, oh, I've seen demons before. Whatever, I've seen them. What's new? Is there anything new? How do you make something different from all the thousands of things that you've already seen? You know what we could do is trying to think how I want to do it real quick. Yeah, thin. I'm thinking actually multiple tongues, like tongues coming out of the side. Let's do that. So brush insert. We're going to do insert brush here, and then we're going to do. See if my snake hook is deciding to work. Just trying some stuff. See what kind of like works and what doesn't. Okay, let's do split unmask points. Let's go to this. Let's dynamesh that. Okay, maybe we'll do 56 on this. Why is this one having such a hard time? Maybe 32? Oh, why? is like chunking hard. I'm gonna get a crash here in a second. Okay. Okay. Why? Yay! Live problem solving. Maybe we'll just. Interesting. Hmm. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get out of the car and we're gonna light the car on fire, and then we're never gonna think about the car again. That's what we're gonna do. Instead, we're gonna use this car. Alright, let's duplicate this guy. Sometimes you just have to abandon whatever it is you're doing. It's just a little bit easier to do it that way. Okay. See if that is gonna work at all. At least we can get an idea of what it feels like in there. And I got a feeling it's not gonna work. It's not feeling great at the moment. If you're gonna fail, fail hard, fail fast. That's what they say, right? Look, it's like taffy. Oh, it's like taffy. Oh, it's so good. Ah. So sometimes I use this trick quite a bit. So if I want to kind of connect these, and I'm using Dynamesh, I could just go in and like just touch it a bit, and then pull it back out like that, and then re-Dynamesh it. Ooh, sneaky tricky. Well, now Dynamesh is working. Event Horizon, dude, that movie, I don't get scared much, but that one freaked me the hell out, man. All 7 times that I watched it. That was a great cult classic movie. And it's really cool to see Sam Sam Neill. I think that was his name, right? The actor. It's great to see Sam Neill as like kind of a bad guy. That's kind of cool. I think we could kind of make this work, but we're gonna have to take it out of symmetry though. The symmetry is really killing it. So like maybe if this one's kind of like hanging out down here, and then this one is like maybe kind of like rotate it out a little bit. So, right, so underrated. But like everybody that appreciates that is like, yeah, that's a great movie. uh, tu- 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 tu. When did you find out that you wanted to become an artist in the video game industry? Is that since childhood? Is that a dream since childhood? That so I've been fortunate to kind of have one kind of consecutive dream since childhood. I've always drawn quite a bit in my life, so I was kind of always doing art as a kid, and drawing monsters and all that fun stuff. So when I was growing up, I was like, well, I should I, maybe I'll be an engineer or something. Like engineers kind of are still able to make a good living, and um, maybe I can do that. The shape is not going well. Um, so I kind of played with being an engineer, creating stuff because I really love creating things. And then I saw Toy Story, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's what I want to do. I want to work. I love technology, and I love art. I saw Toy Story, and I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. I want to go into video game. Not at that point, it wasn't really even video game art. It was just computer graphic art. And I love the characters. Um, and I've always been kind of an anatomy buff, anyways. So I was like, I want to do characters. So like Pixar for a long time was like, oh, that's what I want to do. I want to work for Pixar and work on these movies and stuff. Um, but then, uh, I also grew up a video game kid. We had a Intellivision, we had you know an NES, and Super NES, the whole kit and caboodle. So uh, it was very much a natural move to kind of go from movies to doing video game art. And I've always wanted to do characters, so it was kind of like this natural progression. But it was always like I want to do computer art of some kind. Maybe maybe this one goes forward. And then maybe what we can do. Yeah, Toy Story. You just said you just wanted to speak to your toys. Yeah, that too. All right, we got 30 minutes left. All right. We do have to. So we got to wrap up the tongue. We've got to wrap up the eyes, and then we'll see if we can get maybe like a hood or something on them. Okay, so let's. So we get this 256. We get a little bit more on this guy. See if we can just get the shapes a little bit closer to what like a tongue shape is. So they don't just look like pieces of bacon hanging out of his mouth. Sometimes, to tell you the truth, sometimes during these streams, it almost feels like the ZBrush Summit sculpt off. You're like, okay, you've got like everybody's kind of watching you, and you've got 2 hours to make something awesome. Ready? Wait for it. Go. Okay, see if we can get this to look like a tongue. British Bake Off, but for sculpting. There you go. Now they're starting to feel a little bit more like a tongue. That's kind of cool. All right. See, demon with two tongues? Haha. Not very many, that's for sure. Okay, let's work on this shape here a little bit. All right, so we still got to do the eyes a little bit better. They're real nondescript at this point, so I'd like to get a little bit more refinement in there. So let's see if we can get some eyes going here. And actually, what's going to help is getting a little bit of color on these guys. So let's start working with, let's see if we can do, is it the chrome, I think? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Save! Give me a second. I'm going to save this off. Krampus. Okay, save that guy off. So typically, what I like to do is I get to about this point, and then I like starting to block in some colors. So let's just get out of this real quick. No, that's fine. And let's continue. Okay. Let's load that tool back up. Get out of the car, get back in the car, right? Red wax for the win. Okay. Um, so I typically like when I get to this point to block in some color values of what I want this dude to do. Okay, I'm on that. Let's do Chrome. Something weird is going on. Oh, thanks, GFX. From Kenya! Nice, man. Nice. Appreciate the support out there. Whoa, what is going on? Holy Jesus. Okay. 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 Man, there's some weird stuff going on. Okay, so maybe instead what we'll do is we'll just start painting, and we'll just paint some colors on there. All right, so let's get this guy. Man, there's some weird stuff going on. It's okay. So when I'm painting, I usually will just use the standard brush. I usually don't like. Chimeran, what's up, man? I know it has been a while. I don't like changing the textures and alphas and stuff on the other brushes, so I tend to just use the standard brush for my coloring. So let's do textures off. Let's use just a standard here. Okay, and then let's go fill object, and then now we can say, let's turn that off, let's turn RGB on, and now we can do this. Okay, so we're going to give him like this super kind of pale red tone as a base. Something a little bit more like that. Something more like that. So I'm just going to really quickly just... and I'm using the spray because the spray gives a little bit more breakup than just a solid fill. You can kind of see how that's working here. It just gives a good kind of subtle variation. It's good. It's usually a good base like that. And then what I'll do is just continue that refinement. So maybe we'll go maybe a little bit more, what are some of the darker areas? I just start blocking out just some very basic value shifts. Kind of give them a little bit like of that AO effect, ambient occlusion. Just start kind of pushing and pulling some values just ever so slightly to get an idea of what I want him to feel like. All right, and then whatever maybe some of the color choice designs are going to be. And this I find that gives a lot of kind of more finalized feel during the sculpting creation process, right? Because you start getting a much different feel out of the character once you start blocking in some of the colors, at least from a block out point of view, you know. And then you start just playing with some stuff, and then getting some color variation in there too, as I tend to just throw the hue around a little bit just to introduce some extra colors, some extra hues, I should say. All right, and then maybe just a super basic design as well. Is it going to have any kind of pattern work or anything on it? Like, it may be kind of cool. Like maybe we'll just, we'll try to do like the Steve Wang style where he's got, maybe something like this. Yeah. So it's not only just blocking in forms and playing with what the shapes feel like, but it's also playing with the values of your colors and the hues, and because all of that is your creature design. What does that feel like? All right, maybe he's also got some design work kind of coming up here as well. All right. So then you can go back in and say, all right, well, now that I got like just a basic idea of what some of those are, and I can start kind of pushing and pulling the forms a little bit more to kind of have them work in concert, because that's the fun part. It's like, all right, now I can start playing with. Let's redynamesh real quick. Yeah, you can. You can do different ways of creating the AO, I guess you could say. You can mask by feature and do it that way. If you have layers, like if you have subdivisions on, you can actually go into and look at cavity masking. Cavity masking is also in Brush, so if you go into Brush, let's just open it on the side here. So if you go into Brush and you go Auto Masking, the backface mask is right here. But if you see how the cavity mask is grayed out, if I took this and created a subdivision, then I am able to use the cavity mask. So what that cavity mask says is uh, from 0 up is where I'll get color, right? It's basically saying, okay, on the highlights. Whereas if you say negative, it'll start painting in some of the kind of the cracks like that. It gets real pixelated really quickly, so I don't use it much unless I just want to kind of get in and do like maybe I want some happy accidents with some of the color. Maybe I'll start kind of doing it that way. But I don't like this like hard shapes, but that's just because I don't have a whole lot of sculptural detail. So if I had like super like a lot more detail in this guy, and then I go in and start painting with that cavity mask, you'll obviously get more interesting stuff. But it kind of pixelates out really quickly, so I don't technically use it, but you could use it. Okay. Um, so now that we have a little bit more geo, I can come in and start playing with just some more secondary shapes. You could even get to a point, I used to do this quite a bit too, is combine uh, coloring and sculpting at the same time. Let's do. Let's just go. Let's go. Let's go up to this. Of course, I grew up on Bob Ross. This is happy little demons everywhere. It's happy little demons. Um. Uh-oh. Maybe we'll kind of clean up the eyelids here a little bit. Uh-oh. So another thing you can do is you can combine. Sometimes I do this too when I'm just trying to look for kind of happy accidents and stuff. I can combine my RGB with adding. So like maybe what I'll do is I'll color sample this here, but then I want to make it quite a bit lighter. So I can actually come in and sculpt. While I'm sculpting, I'm actually painting as well. So you could do that. So you're like, okay, maybe I'll color pick that. Maybe I actually want that to be a little bit darker. And then, maybe you're switching, right? So like if you're doing sculptural detail for like crevices, so maybe I'll go to my damn standard and then I'll turn on RGB for that. And now when I'm sculpting and coloring at the same time, so you can kind of get two birds with one stone when you're doing this, and then you can just color pick, right? So you're like, oh, I want to color pick that, and then wait, why didn't I color pick? I did. Why is it not? Oh, interesting. Hmm. Anyways, maybe I can come in and just lighten this up while I'm sculpting it. There's some really cool ways to do different things at the same time. And then there's a lot of times when I'll want to do some detail work. So like if I want to start maybe grabbing, I like this one quite a bit. To add noise, I'll use this harsh side, right? And then I'll use just regular freehand. But then what I'll do is I'll take my focus shift all the way down to 0. I used to do this all the time. I don't do it all the time anymore. And then let's turn the intensity quite a ways down. And then you can come in. Maybe that's a little bit too much. So if I want to just kind of create a noise pass in specific areas, take that up just a little bit. Right? I can go in between adding and subtracting like this. It just kind of adds this noise. Now I know that there's a noise brush now. I think, is it in this one? I think it's in 21.5. There is a noise brush right here. So you can kind of do the same thing. Add, let's do... You can do stuff like this too, right? You start adding some surface breakup. And then, even before you start your final pass on, before you're even done with secondary, you can come in and start. Right, and then maybe I'll go back to my sculptor. And let's turn off RGB for now. So you kind of got this whole like cohesive feeling now with, having some color on him. So let's color pick here, and then actually, you know what? Maybe I want to do some purples in here. I want to start adding. Turn on RGB might help. Here we go. Then if you use spray, it'll actually give you like different values. Sometimes they do hue shift. I don't remember if they do hue shift or not, but they do different value shifts, like subtle value shifts. I love using the spray for that. If you use the color spray, it will actually give you hue shifts. So that's the difference between the two. Hannibal, what's up, man? What's up, Riz? How you guys doing? Did you find that Substance Painter will chug your PC? The ZBrush and 4 million polys will be fine. I try not to put a ton of polys into Substance Painter, just because it doesn't handle that many that well. So I like introducing hue shifts wherever I can. Kind of get a little bit more of a natural feeling that way. Animator, nice. We need you guys. Yeah, maybe I'll get a little bit in there, and then I go back to my color spray and do this. I actually started my career. Well, I wouldn't say my career. Take that back. I started my 3D obsession with Lightwave. So for me, my journey was Lightwave, and then Maya, and then Softimage XSI, then into ZBrush, and then Moto. Lately I've been using a lot of Moto, only because it's less expensive for a home business. You're not making a whole when I was freelancing, I want to make sure that I had proper software licenses. So Moto was the cheapest at the time. So they had a good indie program with Steam actually. Okay, cool. So let's go and I really like this purple. Purple is pretty devious looking. Maybe we'll just do kind of purple all over in here. Oh, nice. Wow, hey, Lightwave's still around, huh? Alright, so then maybe what I'll do is I'll go a little bit darker in here. So some of these more recessed areas will get starting to become a little too dark. Okay. Got about 5 minutes left. Where are we going to leave this guy? So let's go cancel. Come on, dude. Okay, we'll do this. We're going to use my move tool to isolate this guy. And then we'll do we want to fill RGB, so let's do fill object, and that's going to fill that. And then what we'll do is we'll switch. We'll just do kind of a base fill for the teeth down here at the bottom. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll take like an orange. Add a little bit of value shift, hue shift in there. To kind of play against those warms. Or against the cools. Okay, and then maybe we'll do yeah. So the question is, can this poly painting be used and have a nice effect in rendering? Yes, absolutely. So basically what we're doing is we're just assigning color value to the vertexes that this is using, right? So like if we look at this guy, each one of these, when we're painting on here, each one of these vertexes is saying, okay, I'm going to be this color, this value, this HSV. And then this one is saying, I'm going to be a different HSV. So it's whatever hue saturation value is what that is. Basically, what you're doing is it's assigning an HSV value to each one of these vertices. And then when you export the mesh, OBJ will contain the HSV values for each vertice when you do it. So technically, yes, you could bake this out as you go. Thanks for following social media. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Camille. All right, so let's do fill object, and we're on the tongue. All right, so then if I go to something else, it'll stay that color. Now what I'm going to do is add just a little bit of color value breakup to this guy. So we'll color pick that guy, and then we'll just kind of add maybe some blue. And we're just going to lighten up maybe the top. We'll keep the back nice and dark back there. Okay, maybe we'll add a little bit of warmth up here. Oh, look, we're making a Krampus. Krampus. There's a Krampus among us. Alright, and then we're just going to also do some basic color stuff. Let's turn the alpha off on that guy. Let's do color, fill. Okay, so it fills with that color. Okay, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll grab this and we'll give the different planes of this just a different HSV. What type of art do I do? I am a character artist in the video game industry. That is what I do, and that's what I do. You're gonna have nightmares now? Well, I mean, that's technically what Krampus is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to give you nightmares. So that your kids behave. Okay, so maybe I got this like spiral um, color values happening, like this, which is cool. I like it. Did I make Tekken? No. Let's give it a little bit more. So let's say instead of 128, we'll say 256. All right, we got to wrap this guy up. I probably will work more on this guy on the next stream. I don't have a stream. Turn off RGB. Thank you. All right, maybe we'll just get a little bit of breakup coming through here. 2 hours is not much time to make a full awesome bust. At least for me, while I'm teaching and chatting. So. I'm working. I work right now. I work at Crystal Dynamics. So I am lead character artist on Avengers. Most recently, you can see my work, some of my work on the Kate Bishop DLC. Of course, it's a major team effort. There's so many artists and work that goes into all of that. So, definitely not just me. I live in California. The home base for Redwood City, I mean for Crystal Dynamics is in Redwood City. All right, maybe we'll just try to get a little bit of texture for now while we're trying to wrap this for today. And let's make his eyes dark like they should be. There we go. Okay. A couple more quick things, and then we got to call this guy for today. So let's try to leave him in a decent state. um, so I'm just going to... I'm just going to lighten up some of this stuff. I'm not quite ready to have it so dark. I'm just going to just lighten some of this stuff up. It's looking a little much. Okay, and then let's just say this color. Actually, let's grab this color. I'll get some darkness going on here. Okay, you guys get the idea. All right, that's him for now. We've got a lot to do still, but this is from 0 to this in a couple of hours. We would take it and just continue to refine the secondary shapes now. So here, let me give you next steps, and then we'll wrap it. So next steps, what I would do is start refining the shapes more. Now that I have, I may just kind of come in and, you know, get these types of changes going just to make him feel a little bit more wicked and dope and awesome and kind of less doofy at some point. So I'd work with the primary and secondary shapes now once that gets done, and then I would go into working on tertiary details. And then I would finish the color scheme on him. Yeah, right now it's all Dynamesh. So if we look at this guy, yeah, he's all Dynamesh. The nice thing too is that if you want to go back and just look at the sculpt, all you have to go do is hold down Shift and click the paintbrush on your active layer, and that will turn all of the poly paint off. So you can really quickly get like all of your paint on and all of your paint off. So I kind of go back in between those things and start. Yeah, he's still looking a little frumpy dumpy. A little frumpy dumpy there, guy. But it's the valley of the suck. You got to get out of it. But yeah, that's what I would do. And then I would continue just keep working on him. So I actually may pick this guy up at a later stream. But if you guys want to go back and watch this stream in full, it'll be on ZBrushLive.com. Probably by Monday, I would say it's safe to say. Also, if you're on the Pixologic YouTube channel, will also be there in its entirety. There are also many other amazing artists coming up live, as well as streamed in the past that you can go and check out their streams. So I highly suggest giving Pixologic here on Twitch a follow. But most of all, I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned a couple things, and I hope you guys are inspired to go make your own cool stuff. So do it. Make some cool stuff. Yeah, I got an art station. It's just let me grab the link for you. There is my art station. There it is. It's just artstation.com/Brendon Isaiah Bengtson. There you be. Cool. Hope you guys had fun. I will see you very soon. And happy living. All right. See you guys.